Time for another early morning download. I just woke up, people. If you hear a little bit of traffic in the background, that's exactly what it is. Early morning means people rushing into work, and boy, are they rushing. I just hope that everyone arrives safely because some people always wait until the very last minute to get ready to go to work when they know every single day what time they're supposed to report. Maybe I should talk on that. Excuse me. Maybe I should talk on that a little bit later on because that's another thing that kind of makes me a little bit curious as to why people do that. If you have a set schedule every single day, why are you struggling every single day to rush and get to work? Anyway, I'll talk about that later. The point of today's inspiration is a message that I received. Now, we all go through things. We're all part of the human experience. I mean, just because I'm on a better spiritual path than I was before, and I have a closer relationship with my spirit guides and my ancestors and my creator, that doesn't mean that I don't go through daily, everyday bullshit. And sometimes when you go through it, you got to just use a different approach than you used to use in order to come out of it more successfully. That's the purpose of having us. One of the purposes of having a good spiritual connection is to be able to handle things in a more productive and a better way than you handled them before. That's why. So, I want to talk a little bit about how you worry about things. Now, I know that there are scriptures all over the place saying don't worry about this, don't worry is a sin and all this stuff. And I get that. But the thing is, we have human emotions and feelings, and there are times where we are fearful, and there are times where we are scared and jealous and angry and worried. There are times. It's just that, there are some people in this world that are in a perpetual state of worry, and then that's where the problems begin. But anyway, there was a situation that was brought to my attention in regards to someone close to me, and I kind of knew that's what it was, but I needed them to come out their mouths and say exactly what I was thinking and confirm. So first of all, Spirit, thank you, creators, ancestors. I thank you very much for showing me what I was thinking was correct. There were some just curious things about their lifestyle that I wasn't sure about. And when I had conversation, because they called me and started a conversation about something else. And then I kind of just, while we were talking about that, I kind of just started asking about some basic things that I knew that they should be doing, but they're not doing. And they confirmed it. Well, the thing is, I worried about it. I worried about it, and I was consumed, and I found my worry growing to the point where I started finding myself spending a large part of the day worrying about it. And I was like, it is what it is. This person is grown. I mean, even though, they may not have reached certain milestones in their lives emotionally or mentally, for the most part, they're capable of handling the things that were not handled. They're capable of, you know, tapping into resources and doing things as necessary to improve their well-being, and they're not. So they're playing this game where they feel that somebody else should do it, and then when the other person doesn't do it, then all of a sudden they're the bad guy. It's just a whole bunch of emotional manipulation and mind games going on, and that's one thing I can't tolerate. I really can't tolerate that, people. I don't care what kind of physical, mental, emotional shortcoming you may have due to whatever reason. It may not even be your fault. That doesn't give anyone the right to emotionally manipulate, badger, blackmail, um, perform passive aggressive behavior, judge, to perform any of those behaviors. That has nothing to do with their condition. Is it a result of an attitude that they have in regards to their condition? Most definitely. But you shouldn't do those because that has nothing to do with what's going on with you as far as your condition is concerned. And some people do that. It's an excuse for laziness. And I've spoken on laziness before. And It's the truth. It's a tactic to kind of divert people. I stated before, I have to watch my energy. So I'm going to tell you how creative the spirit is. Okay? Now, I've mentioned a couple times before how spirit has a way of diverting your attention, distracting you, and help putting you on the track mentally to where you need to go. And I just discovered another creative way. So back to my story in regards to this person, I found myself starting to spend a lot of time during my day randomly meditating on this person's situation. Well, then another situation in my personal life came up that needed immediate attention. And when I mean immediate, I mean a matter of days. If XYZ is not taken care of within such and such amount of days, then XYZ is going to happen. My situation that I had blew that other stuff out of the water. So what I had to do is I had to immediately stop meditating on this person and paying attention to my immediate real world situation. That's what spirit allows to happen. So now that situation has been taken care of, then all of a sudden the spiritual enemy comes to you and decides to go ahead and pick up that old situation that you were worried about and starts to put it back in your mind so you can start meditating on that again. We got to be careful about that. We got to be careful about that. Think about the times in your life that you could have had a situation where you were worried about somebody and you were worrying to the point where you kind of felt sometimes that you cared more about the situation than they did. But because of your care and concern for them, you kind of just, you took on their energy. You took on attitudes that they should have taken about their situation. Then all of a sudden something happens with a job or maybe with where you live or your car or something like that that requires immediate attention to the point where you don't have any energy or room to think about anybody else. It's something that needs to be taken care of within a day or 2 or 3. You have to channel all of your resources, all of your thought processes, all of your emotional. You've got to channel your whole self into taking care of this immediate situation. You no longer are focused on that other thing. Okay? You might look at it as an unfortunate situation and why is this happening to me and blah, 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 blah. That was a distraction so you could take your mind off of something that you really don't have any control over. You want to, and I think that's the reason why you're worrying, but it's not your place. Pardon the motorcycle, that was a loud one. Like I said, people are rushing into work this morning. So, fast forward. You got that catastrophe taken care of. You're breathing a sigh of relief. You're sleeping the way you should be sleeping because while this thing that was going on for those 1 or 2 or 3 days or whatever had you stressed out because it was an immediate emergency. These things happen in life. But now that you're able to breathe and now that you're able to relax, you could probably pop that cork open of champagne if it's a situation where you want to celebrate. You're feeling good. All of a sudden, here goes those feelings and those thoughts again about that situation that you were meditating on before your catastrophe started. That's the enemy messing with you. Doesn't want you to have any peace about anything. Be very careful what you choose to focus your worry on. That's the message to me, because very recently I found those thoughts coming in. My situation had just been resolved, breathing a sigh of relief. I'm feeling blissful, thankful, overly thankful, happy, and everything else. And see, the enemy does not want that for you. They don't want you to have no peaceful moments. They don't want you to celebrate and be happy and give your Creator more praise. They don't want that. So what's the one thing that they can do to get you all wound up all over again? Bring that same situation that you was worried about before your catastrophe back into the forefront. This is the type of thing that has people in constant state of negativity, constant state of worry, constant state of frustration, constantly involved in messy situations. They can't seem to keep that positive energy going to save their lives. So I wanted to share this with you to help you to become aware, because many of you have overcome things and you're all excited and everything, and then all of a sudden a day or two after you claim that victory, you start feeling these thoughts and everything that's negative, and you're wondering where the hell it came from. That's what it is. The enemy has a job to do too, people, and I understand that. So you have to be spiritually protected. You have to be prepared to do battle with these principalities and powers and spirits and everything else that do not want you to get ahead. You don't get a coffee break in this lifetime as far as fighting the demons. You don't. So the best thing for you to do is to have the best spiritual armor that you can, the best arsenal of weapons that you can spiritually, and become more aware. Pray, meditate, do whatever it is you have to do to make sure you keep yourself aware at all times. I'm not telling you to be paranoid, because there are some people out here who claim to be woke and they're paranoid schizophrenics. Watch out for them. You can be aware. And you know what? I think I'm going to do an audio distinguishing between someone who is woke and someone who's just simply suffering from paranoid delusional disorder. Because there's a thin line, and there's certain behaviors between the one who is spiritually awake and ones who are just suffering from some type of mental disorder. And I think I'm going to go ahead and talk about that very soon. So stay tuned to the channel for that. In the meantime, I thank you very much for your attention and time, and I wish you and yours power, protection, peace, and prosperity, okay?